Welcome back, guys. This is Eddie with Grid 9 System. Glad you guys could make it. We got a little something different today. I've got a few little parts I ordered, tools, I should say, not parts, tools, to do a little bit of a different type of repair today. But also some of these tools will be used, obviously, for electronics repair. So there's a little twist, but you'll see what I'm going to be working on today, right after the intro. MOSFETs here, or some sort of amplifiers. I'm not seeing anything that pops out. I'm not seeing anything burned, broken. All right, guys, welcome back. A little bit different today. What I got here is I got a few little tools that I purchased that I seen some of the techs use, which thought was interesting. But one of these, as you can see, probably sticks out and go, wait a minute, that's kind of like for something else, isn't it? And you probably are correct. This here is for watch repair. And it may be used for other things, but I know mainly it's for watch repair. I'll let you take a squeeze at it so you can see the name and all that, because I'm not probably going to even be able to pronounce the name there, but it's basically an oiler. You have the 4 different size oilers, and well, let's go ahead and open it up and we'll show you what I'm talking about here. Let's throw that in here. Let's put this aside. And basically what you have here is your 4 little size oilers. Essentially what these are, they're like a little spoon. It's got a little cup on the end, but they're tiny. And what you have here is you could use this and put like 3 different oils in here. Let me get a little closer for you. Okay, so you could use this and, you put your different weight oils in here, whatever they may be. That way you can then take a tool, and depending on what, size you need or whatever, you could dip this in there and it would collect that tiny little bit of oil, because you don't need much, evidently on a watch. You don't want to saturate it with oil, just want just enough to have a little bit of lubricant in there so that you don't do any damage, because there is too much oil that you could put on a watch. So, but I didn't get this necessarily, although I could. I didn't get it to lubricate watches. I got it to do some PCB repair and for traces. So, and some of you guys may have already seen this, how handy these can become. If you're used to working on PCBs, let me bring in something for an example, okay? If you're used to working on PCBs and you have, let's say, your masking that you're going to use, okay? And where you would use this, for those who don't know, is if you were to work on something, let's say, and in this case, let me bring in the microscope. Hold on. So you guys can see a little bit better of what I'm trying to say. Get some light over here. See if I can adjust this a little bit better. All right, so let's say we're looking at some traces here, which we are, and this is an old board that's been damaged, but I just want to have you guys see what I'm talking about, okay? Let's zoom in a little bit. So let's take this area, for instance. If we were, let's say, work on here, and you guys are used to this here, you know, the flux, okay? Or not the flux, the masking. We know that if we try to use this and bring in, let's say, a toothpick or something else of that matter, we try to get some of the stuff out of here, let's say, okay? It's really, first of all, it's a pain to get it out of here. Sometimes you overshoot. What I'm trying to say is, if you look at it in a microscopic sense, you know, you're trying to, let's say, fill in this little area here with some of this, okay? So you bring in this here, you got coverage, you got a nice big blob here right now, okay? So I was trying to cover that trace right there. Okay, so you see it can get messy, it can get all over the place. So the idea behind these little things here, as you can see, you see how small that little, just to show you, I'm spinning it so you can see how thin it is and where you're catching. So now you can come in with this again, let's say. You can put your little dab in here, and that's all you would need. As you can see, I just barely touched it. Now, if I were to work in an area, let's say I have a very thin trace or something, you can literally get this in here now and cover just that area that you want. You see that? I didn't make a mess. It didn't go all over the place. So the idea is that you have this with different sizes. You can get in there. You could be more accurate, I should say, make less of a mess. So that's why I got those. I figured they would come in handy. We had a few guys out there already kind of expand on that. And I thought, man, that's pretty cool. That makes sense to use something like that. So that was the point of me getting them, and for you also to see what it was in case you didn't catch it, or you weren't aware about it. Now you know. So you see the difference. That top one it's messy. It's all over the place. It got in areas that I didn't want to. So now I have to go back and do some extra cleaning, and that's time. Okay, guys. So with that being said, you see the bottom here is neater. It's just where I want it. I don't have to come back and do any kind of cleaning or maintenance on it. It's ready to go. I can go ahead and get my my light or my whatever, get it in here and do it up. You know what I'm saying? I've got my stuff all all messed up here. So you'd bring this in now. Let's get it back to where you can see everything. We get our little purple light, if you will, and turn it on, put it over there, cure it, and we're back in business. So that's essentially what that's for. And so I just wanted to show you that real quick, guys. So that's a neat thing. They're not very expensive. Different sizes here. I guess we can show you the sizes underneath the microscope and see how big they look and all that. Let me go back there. So you saw this one, the orange one, and you see what it looks like. Let me see if I can do a better job focusing here. You guys could see a little better. So you see, it's not very big. That's that one. That's the orange. Let's look at the black one. Get it in focus here. I think the black is the smaller one, or the smallest. It's even smaller. So if you really want to get accurate, you can. Let's try the red one. You guys can see that's a little bit bigger than the orange, so that might, I don't know if that's the biggest or not, but that's either the one next to them. Open up a blue one and see. No, okay. I don't even know if the blue one is Yeah, there it is. Okay. So yeah, I would say the red is the biggest. Can we line them up here? Oh, kind of tough. Oops. So I would say that would be the way it is. Black is going to be the smallest. I would say, to the best of my knowledge here. You guys can see. Let me zoom out a little bit. Let's see here. You see the colors there. So black being the smallest, orange second, blue is third, and red is going to be your biggest color. So you have different sizes to choose from, guys, from those. So that makes it a little nice. You got choices. It's not very expensive. I think it was like, honestly, I want to say it was $2 or $3 to purchase on AliExpress, or not AliExpress. Actually, I got these on Amazon, and they were like $3, so not bad. So that's something good to have. And like I said, you could use it for oiler still if you decide to work on a watch or something. Which brings us to the next thing. I went ahead and got one of these little small jobbers. I mean, meaning to, but it wasn't like a big need. So I finally got one. I've had this particular one from Archer Radio Shack. If you guys remember, I've had this for forever. I think this is my first solder sucker that I've purchased many moons ago when I first got into electronics, and I was a teenager. So that's how long I've had this thing. So yeah, I mean, I don't use it as often as I used to. Obviously, I have a vacuum operated desoldering station. So but sometimes you don't want to wait, and you don't really need all that fanciness. You can get in there real quick and use this. So I just, because I had it so long and whatnot, I wanted to try a newer style. And I know they make many out there, and there's probably ones that are better than this, but I just wanted to try this brand here, and just to try it out. So and here she is. And it looks like it comes with an extra silicone little tips you can resize and cut for here, like that one. So all you'd need is what, like a little piece like that. See if I can, yeah, you guys can see just a little piece is all you need to cut from there. So this will last quite a long time. Silicone is going to take some heat. So yeah, it's not bad. We'll have to try it out. See if we can find something that we can desolder real quick. Hold on. Try to find something. Let me turn on my soldering station. See if I can find a board, guys. Hold on. Let's see. We need something we can desolder real quick. That's fairly easy. All right. Here we have a little power supply board. Okay. So let's see. What do we want to desolder to try this out? Let's try this cap right here. Let's try this cap. See what we get. So we could use a little bit of flux, because you always gotta have a little flux. It makes things easier. Remember, guys, flux is your friend. All right, so we're gonna hit this thing with, yeah, that's good enough. We'll try this one. And we'll see if we can get this working here. Oops, I got a mess here for sure. Why is this not working? What's going on here? Uh, not sure what's going on. Let me try this again. What is going on? Something is not wanting to work here. I got a first one lit, which should be this one. Sorry guys, I'm dropping all my equipment everywhere. There it goes. Oh, why it took it so long? Huh. All right. Well, that's a good way to start off the day. All right, so let's try this real quick and see how good it works. Hold on. Let me get a little closer so you guys can see what's going on. Or I could just put it in the microscope. Let's do that so you guys can actually see what's going on here. It should be right there. All right. Let's see if I can fine tune that for you guys. Hold on. You guys can see a little bit better. Yep. All right. So we're going to try to use this and suck this up here. See how well it works. Oh, we got half of it. Yeah, as you can see, we got half of it. Let's try it again. So it did get a little piece out. You can see that right there. A little piece came out of there. So let's go for this again and see what happens. Yeah, there we go. I definitely cleared it out. Let's see. Let's go back and forth, guys. All right, so let's see. We did this end. Let's see if it actually, it did. See? Very good. At this point, most of the time, you wouldn't need probably the sucker because of the fact that one leg is off. The minute you heat this up, it should fall out. Let's see what happens. Yeah, pretty much fell out. So you didn't need it. But if we had to, and we probably would because we would be replacing it at this point, then you would definitely need to clean up that hole. So let's see that again. Let me put that in there for you guys. All right. Oh, I think I missed that one. I got the board floating on here, rocking, so makes it a little difficult, guys. Forgive me for the crude, but there she is. So yeah, I mean, it works. It works for what it is. So yeah, not bad. And I think I didn't pay but just under $10 for this on Amazon. So not bad. So, you know, don't need to go too in depth in this because you guys have probably seen it before. I mean, we could have a little squeeze at it, I guess. We're here, right? Let's go ahead and just do it up all the way. Let's go ahead and take this apart because we want to see how difficult this is going to be to maintain clean. So let's say you got clogged up. Okay. So essentially you could probably use like a typical plunger you would get from your desoldering gun. You could use the same thing and kind of run it through here, or anything else that you would have that would fit. I guess if it got clogged, you could use. Looks like we have a spring, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, pretty much it, guys. So that's a little thing so that when you push it down, what it's doing is cleaning out the hole, as you can see. It'll be cleaning out the hole. So that would go in here. So when you push that down, you're actually pushing whatever may be obstruction in there, will pull it out to the tip end. So yeah, I'm kind of like self-cleaning. But if you had to take it apart for whatever reason, it can be taken apart. You can clean it and then put it back together, and you should be good. So yeah, not bad. You don't have to spend big money, you know, if you didn't need uh, a desoldering station. This can get you by between this and wick. That's all I used to use for years and years before we even got into the you know, the hot air desoldering station. So yeah, this will do the job. So that'll be a nice little addition to have, you know, when we need it. Put that aside. So now for the big reveal. What are we going to do today? Well, what I have, excuse me one moment. I've got a leak on my drinking cup and I make a mess. All right. The big reveal is today it's not going to be electronics. It's going to be watch repair. I have this watch here that my son got me this several years back. It's kind of like an automotive theme style, you know. It's an S1. It's Invicta brand, I believe. You guys can look at that and see. Maybe I can show it there without the glare. So it's a nice, really nice watch. You know, if you're into automotive, car racing, and all that, as you can see, these colors may not do it justice. This is actually blue, guys. I don't know why it's showing a purple. Blue and red, you know, racing stripe theme here. If you look at the face of the watch, it's almost like a dashboard, right? It's analog. So you see how it is there. It's got like if you were looking at your old style, you know, analog gauge on a car, you've got your little arrows for everything. So that's kind of the theme there. And then if you look at the side, you see an actual where you would adjust your time and all that good stuff. It's actually like a tire, a white wall tire. So that's, you know, it's pretty nice. They don't make them like this anymore. This is probably some sort of a little collector's watch. So, but it's really nice. It kept good time. So what appears the battery went out on it. I don't know, haven't opened it up. I didn't have quite all the right little tools. I didn't want to mess it up. So I ordered, so I could do this today, this little kit. So we're going to actually get to try it out on something that it's supposed to be for. And this is a pretty nice kit, is why I chose this one, because it had a, I think from 0.6 all the way up to 2.0 size. And it came with a replacement for each one as well. So that was pretty nice. And the price was right. It wasn't expensive either. I think it was like $12, I think, somewhere around there. Either 10 or $12. So that is really nice. So from the smallest right here, which is 0.6, and this is tiny. Let's get a microscope here. You guys can see how tiny this is. I guess you guys can see that. I'll put my finger up to it. Very, very small. So show you a comparison. We'll go to the 2.0 and then this one and see the differences. Okay. See the differences. So yeah. So let's see if we can figure out if it's just the battery. So what I've done in the past, I have done a little bit of watch repair for myself. Not a professional. So guys who are doing watches, if you cringe, just know I do not have a whole lot of experience. I have done a few watches, maybe 10 in total that I've opened and messed with. Don't say that I'm not calling myself by any means a watch repair guy. I've gotten as far as changing batteries, a seal. I've gutted a whole watch before, but I don't believe that one ever worked again because it was broke anyway. So, but it was just kind of like a practice. So we're going to open this up today. I have bought tools, like I said in the past, because I have worked on, I bought a little kit that brings all these different, so I'm sure by any means this kit is not a professional kit, but it's enough to probably work on one's watch, like any other tool, you get something that's good for a few times before it breaks or something to that effect. But you have this, which is for removing your watch cover in the back here. And if it's called something else, guys, once again, I'm not a pro on watches. So basically this, you would adjust this to size, to whatever you're doing, and you would place that here, and you would use this to spin, okay, your lid off, because this particular type screws down. So you would use this. Others press in. So there's another tool for that, which I have over on the side, which you basically pry in there and pop it. This one's something that you're going to unscrew. So hopefully it'll open up to that size. Let's see where I can try to use it. Oh yeah, let me close that up. A little bit too much, I think. Whoops. Let's close it up some more. So the reason I got this, because you don't want to scratch your watches, or put burrs on them or whatever. So that's the idea behind these things, to use the proper tool, so you wouldn't have a problem. So let's go ahead and see if we can. Well, this is supposed to be for holding your watches. Okay. Supposed to put this down in here and you can hold your watch. So let's use that as well. I don't know how well it'll work for this, because this is where typically we go in, and as you can see here, the watch would go in here, and then you have a place for your buttons And for your crown adjustment, in this case, because this is a different type of watch, it's not going to fit in here, guys. So I probably can't use this. It's going to be like crooked. Yeah, so I'm sure if you had a professional one of these, it would probably work a whole lot better than this. This is probably made to be as the most mediocre standard kind of watch to use something like this. So we're going to have to just do it by hand here, hold this as best we can, and turn this open, unfortunately. So, all right. I'm trying to fit this in here. Once again, get the right size. Oops. All right. I think that's there. Let's try to open it up. Yes, it's going. Try to get back in the same spot. Trying to get back in the same spot, but this one doesn't seem like it is, so let me open it up. I'm trying to see what this is. This is just round. Okay. It's just round. Just trying not to scratch it, guys. But it is coming. I think that's loose enough. I can probably work the rest of it loose. Looks like we're off. And there she is. Must be authentic. I've got a Invicta little fancy certified sticker in there. So that's cool. And my battery is in here. You know what, guys? Let me, I guess, pull the microscope here. See what we got. Let me try to go out on that so that we can see a little bit more of the whole thing. Just trying to get more coverage. Let me raise my microscope up because all right, so you guys can see where my battery goes. Get some tweezers here. So on these things, the best that I can tell, like I said, guys, I'm not an expert. If I'm wrong and you're a watch repair guy, you need to leave a comment to educate me. Please do so kindly. So be careful with these coils. Don't get in there and try to scratch that. You know, once again, guys, if you're in the electronics, you would know better. Anywho, but this for those who don't. Those are coils. Be careful because these wires are so minute, so thin that if you rub that the wrong way with anything, you may damage it. So be careful in here. Even though it's a watch, it still is things that are precision. They're small and tiny. There's mechanical and electrical here, you know, so it's a combination. So to change this battery, most of the time when you see these white covers that go around, usually, I would say not always, but usually they do need to come off in order to get to the battery. So we have to pull that off. I would imagine you can go in here and kind of work it loose. There we go. We'll set that aside. That exposes our battery. Okay. And it looks like our battery has, and really, I'm sure professionally what they would do or can do, you could remove these wristbands so they're not flopping in your way, but I just don't want to be bothered with that. So I'm kind of just holding them to the side, guys. From what I can tell here, if I don't have all this glare here, I'm just cut down a little bit on that glare. It's got a holder right here that looks like it goes to here. So it looks like, you know, I'm not mistaken. I don't want to pull the whole watch out. I'm assuming that this is going to have to come off in order to get the battery out. And I have not done this one before, but it looks like maybe there's a clip right here. And yeah, it looks like a clip. I don't know that that's actually attached there, so I'm not going to mess with that just yet. Let's try and see if this clip here will undo this. Okay. Okay, it looks like I'm going to have to hold down the watch because it wants to, it looks like it wants to pull the whole watch thing up. So I'm going to apply a little pressure here just to keep it down and see if this comes up. And guys, I don't know if I'm doing this right or not. I don't know if that's a clip that goes one way or the other or just up. I have no idea. I don't know. Trying to look at it at a different angle to see if I can tell. Let me zoom in a little bit. See if we could tell a little better. What we may have to do here. It does look like it, that side of it goes underneath that screw. And that's a big old plate to take apart. But I'm thinking we may have to. We may have to remove that whole plate on this particular watch. So let's start with just that side. I don't know what side screw, so let's try with the smallest one they got here. And it looks like it might be a little too small, right? Let's try a little bigger. Let's try a black one. Black in color. Yeah, that looks more like it. So let's undo this. Boy, I had too much caffeine. And now I can tell you, because I have watched some watch repair videos, which I kind of enjoy actually. That just popped out of there and I didn't see where it went. So I'm going to have to try to find that. I see it. I see it. I see it. So let me see if I can get it. I don't know if this is magnetized or not. It is not magnetized. All right, let me find a little something and take that out. A little bit sharper tweezers here. If I can get that scooted out so I can grab the whole thing would be nice. I think it's wanting to stick there because now it fell to the side. Are you kidding me? Oh man. All right, let me see if I can just flip that out. Yeah, I'm not seeing it wanting to come out. So it's, looks like it's below this thing now. Wow. Hopefully I haven't just made this where I have to take this whole thing apart for nothing. But I'm looking at this, and it looks like it's just attached here. But it looks like it's part of this. Yeah. This looks like it's part of this whole thing. So I'm thinking this whole thing's got to come up. So, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. I know I could have taken this to a shop, guys, but I rather like doing it myself, and no better time than the present when you have an opportunity to try to do it. All right, so that one came off too. One thing I probably would like to see is that some of these would have some kind of magnetic ability. So maybe I should have rubbed this with one of these things and made it to where, you know, make this magnetic. So let's put it in here. Let's try to magnetize this thing. You guys can't see what I'm trying to do. Trying to magnetize this tip. And you probably, I may be wrong in this. Maybe we're not supposed to have any magnets in here. But I figure this thing really isn't that strong. So maybe it's just that little bit that I need will work for this thing. I don't know. But so far, I've managed to take out 2 screws and pretty much, I think it's still there. Yeah. And look, it worked like I wanted to do, just so that it sticks just enough to get that out of there. I'm going to place it in the lid that came off. Now I'm going to go back here and see if I can grab that one. It fell down here somewhere. I think it's right down here, but I can't tell if that's it or not. There it is. Got it. Got it. I'll put that down over there. I'm going to try to keep them in order so I can tell how they came apart. Okay. I won't mess that part up. Try to keep them in order. But I really do think that this plate has to come off in order to get this battery connector off, because it's built onto this. So here's another one. And for those in the watch community who are watching, like I said, I don't claim to be a watch expert of any kind, but this one went flying as well. It's amazing how they come out. So that should give you an idea, guys. If you're going to do this, I hope you have an idea of what you're getting yourself into. By no means, just because I'm in here doing this and don't know what I'm doing doesn't mean you should. Just put that out there, guys, because you know, you could mess up and lose something. I'm trying my best to be careful. I've got somewhat the right kind of tools that I would need, and also I have a microscope to help me find anything that I may lose. I think we got one more and that's it, and this plate will come up right over here. And to be honest, I think I could have went up one size bigger on the screwdriver, because it seems like, I need to put this in an angle that I can see. Oh, yeah. Oh, guys, let's put a little music, because I'm sure that would help with this. Let's try a little something, something. It came out. Well, guys, all the screws are out. Not sure where that particular one went, but it is coming up already, as you can see. Here it is coming up. And it seems like that side here does have some kind of a latch, and it's got it, but being that I don't know that for sure, I didn't want to try to break anything. But it seems like this does have it somehow caught up in here. I think I got it on latch now. There it goes. The whole thing came up. There it goes. Oop, there it goes. Something tried to get stuck underneath it. So this is like one big piece, guys. Now, I think that you could have probably picked it up by unlatching and then bending that back, but as you can see how thin that is, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. I want to not lose track and try to find that screw that's supposed to be in here, but I haven't found it. There it is. Let me get it. That's Joker went back to the same place the other one originally did too. I think. Could be wrong. No, that's not it. Not sure where that screw went. The one that came out of here. I don't see it. So I'm assuming it's laying maybe on the surface here somewhere. Or it may have fell out completely. Jumped out. I don't see it in here, guys. I'll try to dump that out. Yeah, I see it now. It's right here. Got it. See it? Let's put that over there with the other ones. And we got our battery too. Right there. So, I don't know what that is. I think that's just trash. Yeah, that's just trash from something. So, what I meant on here, let me bring this up. And guys, if you know about this, comment down there. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I realized the whole thing was one piece, but I'll tell you, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. This is where the battery goes, right? This was latched underneath. Now I know from what it looks like now that I could unlatch this, maybe pick this up and take the battery out. My concern was these two little, you know, metal fingers that are attached to this. That's all that's attached to the main body. And by flipping this maybe too much or too many times, you would weaken this metal right here and crack it. And once this is cracked, or let's say both of them break off, you don't have a connection anymore for the battery. So I didn't want to put that stress on here. You understand what I'm saying? This is why I took this whole thing off. I didn't want to take a chance of breaking this. So that's why I went that path. So now let's check this battery. Hope you guys got to see that because I don't know if you did or not. Let's check the battery. You'll be able to see up here on the side what we got. So ground is this, positives on the outside. What do we got? It's like we got 0.5, yeah, 0.4, 0.459. So barely a half a volt. So what kind is it? Now let's see. Like this is a got it upside down. Energizer. Oh, sorry guys. Energizer looks like 371. That's what it looks like. Right up here. Can you guys see that? 371. 371 battery. So that's what I need to get this bad boy back up and running. So I'm not going to take it apart or put it back together. I'm going to try to run somewhere, maybe get a battery, and we'll come back and put this sucker back together again. Just a quick look for all you looking at this watch inside. Guys, I couldn't tell you anything more than what you see here. I'm not a watch expert. I could figure things out. Like I said, these two coils here. I got my crystal right here. All right, your typical watch crystals. Looks like this has a mat, which would be basically a ribbon cable, if you would. Or in this case, could be a flexible PCB board where it has its contacts so that power from the battery can come through it and go out to wherever they designate the need to have the power. Via's going is essentially what they're doing here, and everything else is mechanical. So anyways, gonna leave it at that. I've got my, like I said, my screws here on the lid. I'll show you guys. I got them kind of in order here, going around counterclockwise. So they're there to put this bad boy back together the minute we get ready to. And we'll go from there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed so far what we've done. And, you know, let's see, let's get a better view here. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and as soon as I get a battery, we'll put it back together, and we'll catch you then. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.